Lunatics! Hello, my friends! Okay, last Saturday night, Angel City Music Hall, Manchester, New Hampshire. I don't know if it was something in the atmosphere or if everybody just, mostly everybody. I'll get to that. But if like 90% of the crowd and the band members and the venue workers all took a bunch of happy pills or were high or something, because it just seemed like everybody was just in a good friggin' mood, man. A good mood, including me, but then again, I guess I usually happen to be that way anyway, so I don't know, easy to please or something. But alright, so before I tell you about the performances, there are two things that I feel are important to highlight. Number one, the venue. Angel City Music Hall, the downstairs ground level of a long-standing tattoo and piercing emporium right on Elm Street, Spider Bite. I will say this. Manchester, New Hampshire is a cool little city, but it is not Manchester Rock City. It's just not known as a rock town. Yes, it's got the Verizon Center on the same street where you'll see Kiss and bigger bands like that, but it's just not known as a rock town. You would not believe this, however, upon entrance into Angel City Music Hall, though. The walls and the ceilings are tastefully, and I do use that word carefully, because oftentimes I think there's a fine line between tastefully and shitty, you know? But the inside is adorned with music plaques and official portraits and illustrations of bands and musicians and all that stuff, top to bottom, very nicely done. And much to my happiness, close to the stage, I saw tables, man, and that to me said no moshing. And that's nothing against pit maniacs or anything, but for this show that night, I was just not up for dealing with that shit, man. So needless to say, seeing those tables close to the front made me happy. Okay, so to just cut right to the chase, both the inside of the venue and the staff, man, the staff, just downright nice people, man. Inviting, helpful, warm, cheerful people. The ticket takers and the security and the bartenders, thank you guys for being the way you were last Saturday. Next, the merch table. And I say table singular in fairness because I only bought from one of them, that being the CROWBAR table. So I can't comment on the other bands, but I'm sure they were swell. But okay, now first, let us consider quickly the merch buying process. Dude, let's be honest, when you really think about it, buying merch at a show, when is that not ever at least a little bit of a somewhat nerve-wracking experience, you know? You gotta wait in line. While you're waiting in line, you're scoping out what's for sale and you're watching everybody in front of you buy stuff, and in that moment, they are all your goddamn enemy, man. They're your enemy because supplies are limited, right? That motherfucker in front of you, directly in front of you, 2, 3, 4, however many people in front of you, could be the dude who buys that last size XXL, and you know you look stupid in anything else, so you're getting closer. You're getting closer, and finally, it's your turn. And what happens now? Now you are everyone else's enemy. You got that target on your back. You might even be, get ready, dressed like a target. Super joint ritual. And now you gotta interview the seller, basically. Do you have B in double XL? Do you have C in double XL? You gotta wait while they go through the boxes, all while feeling like everybody's eyes are burning a hole through your back. All that stuff, man. 90% of the process sucks until that very last second when you see approved show up and that long sleeve or that t-shirt's in your hand. So with all that said, let me just tell you, man, when you get a seller that gives off a nice vibe, it goes a long goddamn way, doesn't it? Such was the case at CROWBAR's table that was being overlooked by who I learned to be none other than Mr. Kurt Winstein himself's wife, Robin. All I'll say is, well, shit, what can I say? We all know niceness when we encounter it, right? We bought 5 shirts all together, which meant 5 different times Mrs. Winstein had to fetch 2 long sleeves in 2 different sizes, the red all I had I gave shirt in 1 size, and 2 broken glass shirts in 2 different sizes. And then our card was run just like everybody else's, and imagine having to be the seller that's gotta tell the buyer like, sorry, decline. Then you gotta hear, all right, better try it again. Dude, that in itself, man, thankfully that didn't happen to us. So anyway though, I just want to say that Mrs. Winstein was an absolute joy to buy merch from, man. Very friendly, very warm, very helpful. So on behalf of myself and everyone else who bought stuff at Crowbar's table last Saturday, thank you very, very kindly, Mrs. Winstein. Alright, showtime, the bands. First up was a 3-man operation known as BODYBOX. Now prior to last Saturday, I had not heard BODYBOX, nor did I know very much about them. I'll put it like this. Now I could be wrong, but I thought I saw some of their merch with Joe Dirt's face on it. I think I'm right, but I could be wrong. Anyway, the singer. This dude was like all things Joe Dirt and Talladega Nights combined, man. Just a funny bastard and a fun bastard, and the dude was clearly there to have a good time. He did not give a fuck about anything else. My hallucination of this band is that within their immediate local scene in Florida, they might be surrounded tightly by a million friggin' battle vests and I don't know, metal just fucking snobs and like underground elitists and these nerds. And these dudes in BODYBOX, they just want to play, and play did they. Now Encyclopedia Metallum has them listed as brutal and deathcore. They very clearly were that, but of yesteryear, a very disgorge and devourment type thing. Old school as opposed to new school. So obviously you couldn't understand a goddamn word they were saying. We were at least given an idea as to what the songs were about, because he would tell us before each song, which most of the songs were apparently about, doing drugs, okay? So there you go, you know. I enjoyed BODYBOX thoroughly, and I hope I get to see him again in the future. BODYBOX, may you dudes enjoy your buzz, enjoy your high, and thanks for the killer performance, man. Alright, now for a slight change in tone, a change in mood. Primitive Man. Now this is gonna be a first for me, okay? What I'm about to say. I'll just fucking come right out and say it, alright? I do not listen to Primitive Man, and I make a point not to listen to Primitive Man. It's nothing to do with thinking they're a bad band, or nothing to do with the band members. In fact, it's actually a credit to the band members themselves. You know why I don't listen to Primitive Man? Because very simply, in my opinion, they are perhaps the absolutely undisputed scariest sounding band on earth. They are uneasy to the fucking max, man. I caught bits and pieces of them at Psycho last year in Vegas, and then listened to little short snippets, including a full song that I've featured here before. But all in all, they are the fucking scariest sounding band that I have ever heard. And they bring that to the stage too. The singer barely looks at the crowd, man, just fucking off into the centuries. One pretty funny thing that happened was when they first got up there, I don't know if that Ethan Lee McCarthy says it at every show, and I kind of hope he does, because I think other people will think it's funny too, but he gets up there and he goes, alright, we're Primitive Man from Denver, Colorado. You guys ready to party? And like a bunch of people go, yeah! And then he goes, sorry about that. And then just hell, man. Dark, loud, fucking hell, okay? So hey, if that's your thing, you probably love these guys, and I'm happy for you. But their performance, you know, I got the impression that they felt like they were having some issues with their sound or something, just kind of based off their facial expressions and a few communications with the soundboard. But I mean, I don't know. It honestly sounded fine to me. They did a great job playing their songs, and I mean, you could hear the guitar perfectly, the bass, drums, their effect pedals and stuff. So great performance, guys. It truly was a great performance, even though you scared the shit out of me. And so if they ever decide they want to start writing songs like Paradise City or Living on a Prayer or something, then I might be ready. But all in all, oh, great job, Primitive Man. Okay, now, finally, Kirk, Tommy, Shane, and Matt, Crowbar. Okay, this is where the venue itself comes back into play. Number one, that whole thing about being happy to see the tables near the stage that I thought would prevent moshing. Didn't happen, man. Didn't happen. I don't know what I was thinking. Oh, but before I forget, speaking of Shane's, hey, shout out to Shane from Small Town Exotics, a beautifully run reptile breeding business on the West Coast. Shout out from me and apparently Kirk too, who is wearing a Small Town shirt on stage. What's up, Shane? But yeah, so moshing, crowbar, fucking obviously. I don't know what I was thinking, of course. But so, okay, like I said, it would be one thing if this show was in, say, nearby Worcester or somewhere in New York City or LA or something, but it wasn't. So to see Crowbar giving us the same amount of, I don't know, appreciation, the same amount that I've seen given to Worcester and I'm sure other cities, that is cool, man. That is cool. And it's classy, and Crowbar made all of us, I think all of us, feel like they were there having a good time just like we were. And you can always tell, man, you can always tell when a band just might not be feeling it, you know? Which is okay. That's okay. It happens. They're human, you know? But regardless, despite our city not being Manchester, UK or something, Crowbar still brought it, man. The set list is out there. It was a great mix of stuff. The whole sound was loud and heavy as hell. My favorite moment was probably Planets Collide. Opened with Conquering, right into High Rate Extinction, Always Worth the Gain was rocking. What a fucking awesome band, man. You know, Crowbar is a band that I feel like they're like an anchor band, okay? For all the groups that they influence, bands usually try to borrow their very unique tone and heaviness that literally sounds like a bunch of steel crossbeams, you know, falling off a building or something. Or their lead guitar melodies, you know the ones I'm talking about. Or, you know, I haven't really heard somebody do this yet, but man, their drum patterns, you know? Those beats and those grooves, there is something different going on there, man. I gotta believe people that love bands like Dream Theater and Liquid Tension Experiment and Mahavishnu Orchestra and all those related prog bands and stuff, I gotta believe they also appreciate Crowbar's, like, you know, complex grooviness and stuff, you know? So yeah, man, second time I've seen them now. I hope I get to see them a million more times. Fucking A, man. So there you go. That's what the hell went down last Saturday night at Angel City Music Hall, the venue below Spider Bite in Manchester, New Hampshire. Crowbar with special guests Primitive Man and BODYBOX. I just had a great fucking time, dude. Have you seen any of the tour stops so far? Are you going? I hope you are, man. I hope you are if you can. But alright, hey, if you like this video, maybe you'll give it a thumbs up. Or if you just like hearing somebody bullshit about heavy metal, pretty much all sides of it, then cool, man, hit that fucking subscribe button. We'll see you next time on Concrete Spew pretty damn soon. And until then, alright, stay heavy, stay cool, and stay metal, my friends.